about that first day of
Yeah.
practice. We talked the other day, 30 practice
Yep.
preseason. Over these 30 practices, what's maybe the to-do list, the priorities for this team to get ready?
A lot of things to cover, and again, it's nice to have some veterans out there who understand and get it. You're going guys like Luke O'Brien and Tristan Silva and Julian and guys like that who've been here and done that. But the new guys, it's all they're drinking water out of a fire hose, so to speak. So a lot of stuff to put in. It's been an interesting fall. We've had more sickness in the fall than we've ever had here. I don't know if there's stuff going around or what. Javon Hadley was out. He'll probably be out till Thursday. Cody was out last week. I mean, KJ's out with an ankle. He'll be back tomorrow. But we need to get everybody back for us to be as good as we need to be and to get reps together. And obviously we know Eddie's going to be out for a little while longer. So, but it'd be good to have all of us out here at the same time, and that hasn't happened for the last 2 or 3 weeks, unfortunately. So nothing I can do about that, but gives those young guys a lot of reps and a lot of opportunities to get better.
How do you expedite that process when they do come back and getting them in the swing of things?
Well, it's a lot of things. I mean, you're doing stuff on the floor. Obviously, we practice today, so we'll have some film to look at, and now we'll look at film before we come out on the floor tomorrow. So it's a lot of it's practice, but some of it's film work. Some of it's film work on their own with a coach, getting up on the board and understanding what their assignments are, what they need to do. So it's just, you don't want to give them too much information early. You don't want to cram too much stuff in early, but you have to get stuff in those 30 days of practices. So, when our first game comes, we're ready for anything. And there's a lot of things in basketball, that you got to be ready for, whether it's zones, whether it's presses, whether it's double teams, whatever the case may be. So a lot of stuff to work on.
With Zach and Bill being able to be elevated to assistant coach status, I would imagine that allows for more one-on-one coaching during practice. Does it have any other benefits?
Yeah, a little bit more one-on-one coaching. We can kind of divide and conquer a lot easier rather than just having 3 assistants. Now we have 5. As simple as when we start getting up and down, they can officiate. Last year they couldn't even officiate. Go figure. Don't ask me why. But again, it takes the NCAA sometimes a while to figure things out. But that move to let those guys be on the floor should have happened 10 years ago, but it didn't. It finally happened, and it's great. It's great for them. It's great for our players, and it doesn't cost us a dime. If something's good for the staff and something's good for the players and it doesn't cost anything, I don't know why we're not doing it. But it is what it is. I'm just glad they're out there. It's good for the bottom line is it's good for our players.
Eddie, you expressed previously that you thought he'd be ready come the season. Is that still kind of the timeline?
Yeah, that's the timeline, I hope. He's still got a couple of a week or so of non-activity on his back, and then after that, it'll kind of, we're not going to go from 0 to 100, quickly. So we just got to get him back in the fold. I mean, obviously, cardio-wise, he's going to have a lot of work to do, but can't wait to have him on the floor. Eddie's a presence that makes himself felt when he's out there. So we sure like to have that.
Does Cody's talent accelerate the learning curve to this level?
What accelerates Cody is his mind. He's got a great feel for the game. He's got great instincts for the game. So the only thing holding Cody back is just the physicality of the game. Now that's why the weight room's been so important for him since he's been on campus and working with Coach Englehart. But Cody's going to be fine because he's a smart player and he's got a great feel. He's got things that you can't coach. His talent is certainly unquestionable. So.
Are you looking forward to coaching him pretty hard? He said that he can feel that a little bit,
yeah.
And he wants that too. Though.
Yeah.
That's why he chose to play here, Coach. Right?
Yeah, and that's with a young player because look, Cody's still 18 years old. So you gotta, and I've had my normal thing is I kind of take what freshmen give us, and I don't maybe coach them as hard as I should because I want the veterans to be the ones that are kind of showing the way. But with Cody, I've in the recruiting process, I told him I'm a coach large, so and we've had individual conversations where I'm going to do that. And but I also got to understand he's young, and he's going to make mistakes, and you can't, you can't nitpick. But I think that's where film is good, And so having Cody come in and watching film, and because he's one of those guys that when he does make a mistake, he usually recognizes it, understands it. And there's a lot of head nodding going on, and the key is to try to not make the same mistake again. I always say there's two kinds of mistakes. There's physical mistakes and there's mental mistakes. The physical mistakes are going to happen. It's part of basketball. Every player's going to make those. It's the mental mistakes that we got to try to eliminate, and I think we'll be able to do that with Cody again because of his mind and his feel for the game.
Is your number one challenge to him still on the defensive side, or what?
Yeah, certainly he understands how important defense is. The thing about Cody, he's not only a capable defender, but he's also a willing defender. And so it's about being in the right position and again, getting through screens, getting low, staying low. The biggest thing with Cody is we've really tried to get him to play with his knees flexed a little bit more rather than straight up and down. If you play defense, especially straight up and down, you're going to get back cut, you're going to get screened, you're going to get hit. You're not going to be able to get through those things. So he's getting better.
You talked about playing more of a 5-out approach
Yes.
on offense this season. Exactly how big an adjustment is that for especially the returning players?
Well, we've worked on it a lot, Pat. It's an adjustment for sure, and I think they could probably answer it better than I can. But it's been an adjustment, and the only thing that concerns me with it is our offensive rebound. Because I think that's something that we've always prided ourselves on is our ability to offensive rebound. So when you have 5 guys on the perimeter and the shot goes up, we have to crash the boards with at least 3 guys, and so getting them to go from the 3-point line, to the rim and pursue the ball is something we've got to create habits with that we haven't done yet. So that's going to be another challenge over these next 30 days is to create those habits, because that's really what basketball is. Basketball is a habitual game. It's a reactionary game, but man, if you have good habits, it sure helps that reaction because you're usually in the right spot and you understand what your job is. And for a lot of our players, we could be a really good offensive rebounding team, but that's the one thing that concerns me with the 5-out system is that part of it. And it's not like we won't use post-ups. It's not like Luke O'Brien's a really good low post player for a guy his size. Tristan Da Silva, we know how good he is down there. Guys like Hassan and BD, and I think Eddie when he gets out here. So it's not always going to be 5-out, but it is an adjustment.
That offensive rebounding concern, is that where having someone like Luke as an asset,
Yeah.
obviously shown the nose for offensive rebounding.
Exactly. Yeah, and he's a guy that we're going to count on a lot. But that's something that, again, Tristan has got to get better at. Hassan and BD, big long athletes. Cody, a 6'7" athlete. Even bigger guards like Courtney Anderson can be really good rebounders for us, and that's what we need. And we know Javon Hadley usually when he's back, he's got a nose for the ball. He wasn't out here today because he's been sick, but Javon's a good rebounder as well. So.
Tristan is certainly someone with good habits. Are there any kinks he needs to figure out in his game, or is he at the peak of his maturation?
No,
process?
Tristan is. There's not a lot of coaching that has to be done with Tristan, other than to get him to be more vocal, which he is, and really to help the younger guys, which he's doing. So that's got to continue. And I'm sure it will, but I feel as good about Tristan Da Silva as a senior as I've felt about anybody in this program since I've been here. I mean, in terms of his understanding of what he needs to do, the game has slowed down for him. He's picking and choosing his spots. He's a guy that's going to score a lot for us this year. He's also going to be a playmaker for us as well this year. So, I like where Tristan's at. I'm going to keep harping on rebounding for him. I think he should be a double-double guy.
The talent's there, so are you preaching the ceiling's the limit? The sky's the limit pretty much for this year.
For this team?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but it's not going to be easy, and that's what I want these guys to understand is you take each day, and we're preparing. I keep getting back to we're going to prepare to beat the good teams, and we're not going to prepare to beat the teams that we have more talent than. teams that we should beat. It's the teams that are supposedly better than us, and we'll see where they pick us as we get closer to the season. But I like this team, but I want the mentality of this team to be every single day. And that's one thing, again, that our veterans learned last year is we had some games last year, Grambling at Grambling, UMass in the tournament, Boise State in the tournament that we played in, that, we didn't take care of business. And so now we had a great win against Tennessee, but, I don't want the ups and the downs. I want to be consistent. And consistency is, to me, the name of the game with this squad.
Non-basketball, can you feel the Coach Prime effect throughout the campus?
Yeah,
university?
absolutely. Yeah, what Dion has done and his staff and his players, and the attention they brought this university, and the excitement that they brought this community is special. I mean, I say he's one of one. There's not a lot of guys that can do what he's done, and so yeah, you can feel it for sure. Now, is it going to help us win a basketball game? It will if we pack the event center like they're packing the Folsom Field. It'll help us win a game. But no, I'm really proud of what he and his staff and his players have done to create this excitement, and I know they just stubbed their toe a little bit this weekend, but that gets back to you preparing to beat the good teams, right? And there's good teams on their schedule. There's good teams on our schedule, and we got to take care of business when it's time to take care of business, and then when it's time to beat a good team, you got to come together and do it. And that's what we have to do. Look, he's here to win football games. I'm here to win basketball games. But I'm going every game they play, and I'm part of the. I wouldn't say I'm part of the bandwagon because I've been on CU football for 14 years. But I'm excited.
Have you had as much fun as you've had at the games this year as any other year? Or?
The tailgates are a little bit more crowded. Other than that, it's been great. I love it, and I love the excitement, and I love the energy, and certainly we've tried to capitalize on that in recruiting. But no, I'm happy for them, and I'm all in on Colorado football.
Cody talked about the advantage of playing for you at U19 and kind of getting a head start on your style and your terminology. From a coach's perspective, what's the advantage in that for you?
Well, I think the biggest advantage for me is the fact that Cody got to play, FIBA basketball, and FIBA basketball makes college basketball look like a non-contact sport. I mean, it's a rough and tumble. I mean, there's banging going on in the paint. When you take the ball to the rim, there's contact. You got to finish through contact, and Cody got better at that as he adjusted to it because he wasn't used to it. And a lot of the guys I think we had on our team were not used to it. So the advantage is, I've seen him maybe struggle at times, but then fight through those struggles. And there was practices we had where he was kind of not as aggressive as he needs to be, and then the next practice he was aggressive, and it was like, oh, that's the Cody Williams we want. So aggressiveness under control is something I think he learned this summer, and I learned that when he is aggressive under control, he's pretty darn good. But he's got to be aggressive. And that doesn't mean he needs to make a play every time he touches the ball, but it just means he needs to exert his will on the game. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. You can do that on offense, you can do that on defense, you can do it on glass. And the challenge, again, for Cody is to exert his will on the game in multiple areas, not just in one or two areas. Thanks, Coach.